So I'm going to bring an issue to your attention, something that's concerning me. This is a headline from Breitbart. I think it's their top two story right now. Worldview. Steve Bannon and Henry Kissinger form project to sound alarm on China. So, according to this interview that Bannon gave, Bannon and Kissinger have had several private meetings and are preparing a project to sound the alarm on what Bannon views as the primary economic threat to America, and it's China. And basically, Bannon is saying that if the U.S. doesn't get its act together, then China is going to end up having the United States as a colony, and they're going to be exploiting us in the way that European colonialism supposedly exploited its colonies. They're going to produce goods to send to us and charge us too much for them and exploit our labor like that. So this is the kind of stuff that gives me fits about the Bannon coalition. It's what doesn't give me fits about the Bannon, Gorka, Breitbart coalition are the hardcore evangelical conservatives. They don't give me fits because I grew up around those people. It's not what my family was, but basically when I was in like daycare and school, all of those people were the ones I was growing up with. So to a great extent, I feel like those are my people, even though I'm not one of them. So they don't scare me like they scare, I guess, a lot of coastal liberals and things like that. When I look at evangelicals, I see their good traits and I see their flaws. Basically, I just see them as human beings. So having hardcore evangelicals as part of a political coalition doesn't scare me. What does scare me is having people like Henry Kissinger being in the top flight of any kind of movement. Kissinger's 94 years old, so he's basically only useful at this point for prestige. And I can give you a good example of that. There's a blood testing company called Theranos. You might have seen it in the news because it turned out it was a complete fraud. They basically went around collecting investments by saying, we can revolutionize the entire industry of doing blood tests. We can do a whole bunch of tests way cheaper. We can do it with a pinprick instead of having to draw 3 or 4 vials of blood. And they collected all this money. And something that people do when they're trying to go around and collect investment money is they get people to sit on the board who are people of substance, who are people with reputation and pull. So you go to Henry Kissinger and you pay him, I don't know, $200,000 to sit on the board, and he never actually has to show up. He just has to put his name on there. And then when you go around to collect your investment money, you say, look, we got Henry Kissinger on the board. And they say, well, damn, this enterprise has to be straight, so then they're more likely to donate to you. As far as I understand it, that's how it works. Another piece of evidence would be when this company, Theranos, was exposed to be a fraud, Kissinger and all the other people like that who were on the board left. They took off running. It was no longer worth their while. So is Bannon trying to use Henry Kissinger as this like prestige thing and saying, look, this is a serious movement. We're working with the top people in U.S. politics? I mean, maybe, but it just seems like a horrible move, because basically all of the people who want to be part of an anti-globalist populist movement understand that it's people like Henry Kissinger, he himself, right, are, you know, if he was a little bit younger, he would still be part of the deep state. I think he's in the deep state retirement program right now, actually. They're taking care of him and probably making sure he doesn't say things he's not supposed to say to people he's not supposed to say it to. But this is like a huge misstep, and this is just like the creepiest, weirdest thing. And if you go look at the comments on this story at Breitbart, you'll see pretty much everybody saying the same thing, or at least when I leaf through them, It was a whole lot of really confused people and a lot of people saying, geez, Bannon may not be the guy that I thought he was. And I mean, I guess I still think that um, I haven't like gone that far. And there's already a lot of stuff that I don't agree with that Bannon and Gorka promote, certain issues that you might be able to guess. But overall, I think they've got utility, and they say that they're against all the people that we hate, and they actually put their ass on the line on a day-to-day basis to try to undermine those people. So knowing that, it's just really hard for me to make sense of this. I just don't get it. I don't understand. Um, I think that you could develop a America First economic program without having to involve Henry Kissinger. If you've got any ideas or anything that you think that could help me understand this any better, please let me know because I'm pretty confused. Thank you.